Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation GoldenEye, turn 3.1, Germany. It is July 1937. I haven't yet processed Panzer J's turn, but he has recorded it, and he did provide enough income. He lend-lease the IPPs to upgrade the militia that was Spanish Republican militia that was in Madrid up to an infantry, and that's all I needed to know because I'm going to attack Madrid. That's why both Germany and Italy have lend-leased 13 IPPs each, so that's 26 IPPs. I think that Madman Dan has lend-leased 9 IPPs. I could be wrong. Let me think here. He sent that mountain infantry, and he sent a regular infantry, and then he negotiated for 2 more IPPs from Panzer J. So 3-1, I've spent 3-1, and I think I've got enough to take him because although we're pretty equivalent, we'll probably average 2 hits each on the first round. He's losing things that are defending at 5, and I'm losing things that are defending or attacking at 1. And I've got 3 fighters, so it's pretty likely I'm going to get his fighter on the first round. And he has a 50-50 chance of getting one of my fighters. So I feel pretty good. I'm going to take Madrid. Let's get started here. I've got 5 tech rolls. I'm going to roll for jet fighters, long-range aircraft, radar, improved factories, and improved construction. Probably should have hit submit before and then read those to you. Still thinking. Okay. Oh, just very abysmal. Okay, so I failed on everything for except for the last improved construction. So the jet fighters I failed with a 1. The long-range aircraft failed with a 1. Radar failed with a 2. Improved factories failed with a 5. And improved construction succeeded at a 7. So I got 4 out of 5 last time, and I got 1 out of 5 this time. Perfectly average. All you can ask for. All right, purchases. I have 41 IPPs to spend. I'm not going to make any purchases this turn. Combat movement. So I totally screwed up last time with these boxes that were hiding things from myself. And my opponents were very gracious and said, hey, you don't have to do your combat movement into Slovakia, you can do your combat movement into Bohemia. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we've got a lot of time ahead of us. So now I'm going to do combat movement into Slovakia. What's going to move in there is 3 infantry. This is coming from Bohemia. 3 infantry and an anti-aircraft gun, and 3 infantry from Austria. So in Slovakia, there's 2 infantry, so that means I've got 8 infantry on this in this task force, an anti-aircraft gun, and a fighter. That's what's in Slovakia. And then I've got combat movement in Spain. I am going to move everything. 3 infantry, 1 artillery, 2 fighters from Asturias-Navarre, and 1 infantry, 1 fighter from Asturias-Navarre. So I'll have 4 infantry, 1 artillery, 3 fighters. He will have 4 infantry, 1 fighter. It's a mountain city, so that means that I am going to be -1 because of the mountain, and he is going to be +1 because of the city. Maybe we can zoom in a little bit more. My dream scenario would be to kind of capture everything here. The pieces and the dice. Hopefully I've got this pretty well set up. Okay, so let's get to some rolling. The first thing is that I've got a first strike artillery at 2. I was kind of hoping to hit with that because it would have been ironic the 2 IPPs that were paid just to take that guy out, before he even got to fire back. But he will get to fire back at 5. Okay, I've got 3 non-boosted infantry attacking at 1. 1 hit. All right, and I have 1 boosted infantry at 2. Another hit. I'm sorry, Madman. Had been average up to this point. And then I've got 3 fighters at 3. This is where if I miss with everything, then we'd be about average, because I figured 2 hits each. Okay, so I got 1 hit above average. All right, now he gets to defend. Nothing was a first strike, so he gets to defend with everything. He's got 4 at 5. His infantry in a city are boosted, and if any of these are ones, he could choose. Like, he would probably... I don't know if he'd want to pick the... Yeah, I'd pick the artillery if I were him, because that will knock down 2 things at 2. And he only got 1 hit. Okay, so... it's really... There's not much the Spanish Republicans can do if both countries are sending so much. You know, each country sent a fighter. I'm sorry, Madman. It doesn't really matter. So that's the end of Madrid. Madrid has fallen. It's taken with 3 infantry, 1 artillery, and 3 fighters. So that was a blowout. Okay, that's the end of my combat movement. Let's go to non-combat movement. The only thing I'm going to be doing as far as non-combat movement is I'm going to move these 2 light tanks that are in Bohemia. They will move up to eastern Germany. Okay, I think that's... Let me double check if that's everything on my list of things to do. Yep, I didn't do any purchases, so I don't have any place units. Oh, I've got my control. My Nationalist Spain gets a role, a recruitment role. I think I have 4 territories. So I need a 1, 2, 3, or 4. 5. Where are those low die rolls earlier when I was doing tech? Okay, I collect 24, I had 41 saved, so I have 65 IPPs banked. Next up is Madman Dan with turn 3.2 USSR. Global War 36 enthusiast here with follow-up from this battle, which I ended after the first round. So I used PBE. These 2 infantry had survived the first round, so they get to fire back. Once Madman Dan missed with that fighter, I was like, it's over. But of course, we need to finish this. So in the second round, let me review the results of what happened. There were 2 attacking infantry with, they were rolling at 1. They rolled a 10 and a 5. Then the artillery and the boosted infantry are attacking at 2. They missed. They rolled a 4 and a 12. Then 3 fighters at 6. I rolled a 6 and 8 and a 12, so I only hit once. And then the defending infantry rolled an 11 and a 5. So at the end of round 2, I'm down to 2 infantry, an artillery, and a fighter, or 3 fighters. And he's down to 1 infantry. Then we did round 3 by PBE. And so my 1 infantry attacking at 1 hit. The boosted infantry and the artillery at 2 that rolled a 6 and a 10, they missed. The 3 fighters rolled a 3, 4, and a 9, so 2 more hits, only needed 1. And the last shot from the Republican infantry was a hit with a 4. So I take Madrid with just an infantry and an artillery. And I didn't announce where my planes land. They're going to land in Catalonia. The 3 fighters will land in Catalonia. So that is the conclusion of the German turn. There is an infantry and an artillery in Madrid, and then 3 nationalist fighters in Catalonia, and there's 1 Spanish Republican in Murcia, Valencia, if you want to see what it looks like over here. So I'll splice these two together. We like to record in one fell swoop, and my brain turned off. But since that's the nice thing about PBE, then my opponents can see, yeah, it went pretty well for Hoshi once we went over to PBE.